Hello, dear people. How are you? Today I will tell you something based on a real case that the media covered briefly and sparingly. I will present it as a story. Everyone can draw their own conclusions. The Shadow Beneath Maslen Nos, February 18, 2026. The Black Sea was unusually calm. The fishing vessel VN 8112 was moving slowly near Cape Maslen Nos. Captain Hristo Spasov, a man with over 30 years of experience, stood on the bridge, staring at the horizon. Beside him was his son, young but already hardened by the sea. The third crew member stood silently, eyes fixed on the sonar. "Dade, that's not a fish," the boy said quietly. On the screen, a massive shape appeared, motionless, too symmetrical. "A rock formation," Spasov replied, but his voice lacked conviction. At that moment, the compass began to spin. The radio crackled. A localized fog and storm formed. The water seemed to boil, and then silence. The vessel disappeared from radar at 06:42. 2 days later, Sozopol Colonel Serafimov stood on the terrace of Hotel Lozite, finishing his cohiba, gazing out at the sea. The wind carried salt, and something else, a metallic taste. Beside him stood a naval officer. "We found the ship. At 38 meters, no hull breaches, no signs of struggle, no people. And the nets, empty." Serafimov didn't respond. He simply removed his dark glasses. "Take me down." Underwater, the ship lay strangely upright, as if carefully placed on the seabed. No damage, no signs of panic. Only one thing was wrong. Around the hole were circles of scorched marine vegetation, as if something hot had been there, but without fire. Serafimov approached the bridge. The door was open. Inside, the captain's cup sat on the table, full. "No one leaves a ship like this," he whispered into the microphone. And then he saw it. On the floor, 3 parallel marks like footprints but not human. Long, narrow, with a faint bluish glow. "This is not an accident," Serafimov said. "This is an extraction." Night at Cape Maslen Nos, Begliktash. That same night, Serafimov was on land near the ancient sanctuary of Begliktash. The wind whistled through the stones. "Why are we here?" a young agent asked. "Because this place is not random," Serafimov replied. "There is energy here. The ancient Thracians knew it." Suddenly, the device in his hand began to beep. The same frequency as in Guantanamo. The sea lit up, not like a reflection, but from within. From the depths, a light began to rise, blue pulsating. Then, a silhouette, a disc, massive, silent. "My God," the agent whispered. The object emerged from the water without a single wave. Behind it, 3 small figures, suspended motionless in the air. "That's them," Serafimov said quietly. "The crew." The figures did not move. They did not resist, as if asleep. The next moment, a beam emerged from the disc. Thin, white, and they vanished. Seconds later, the naval base radars detected something else. A Russian submarine signal. An unidentified object moving at 200 meters depth without sound. Without propellers. Serafimov stared at the screen. The submarine is tracking the UFO, or working with it, the officer said quietly. The last recording the next day, A damaged audio file was recovered from the ship's black box. Captain Spasov's voice, "It's not a fish, not a ship, it's coming from below." Then, a sound, low, pulsating, the same as in all previous cases. Epilogue Serafimov stood once again on the terrace of Hotel Lozite. The sea was calm, too calm. In his hand, he held a satellite image, taken at the moment of disappearance. On it, clearly visible, a shadow beneath the water, massive, ancient, and directly above it, the vessel VN 8112. "This is not the first case," he whispered. "And it won't be the last." The waves stirred slightly, and somewhere deep beneath them, something awakened again. Continuation. The night after the incident was unusually quiet. Colonel Serafimov did not sleep. In his room at Hotel Lozite, monitors glowed blue, displaying satellite data, sonar readings, and old archives. But one thing troubled him: the signal. The same pulsating code detected near Maslen Nos appeared again. Only this time, it wasn't coming from the sea. It was coming from beneath the signal itself, as if there were a second layer of reality. "This is not just depth," he whispered. "It's a coordinate in a space we don't measure." The descent at dawn. The special team returned to the site. This time they were not just divers. They were equipped with an experimental module from the Bulgarian Academy of Sciences, a chrono depth sensor designed to measure temporal anomalies. "If we don't return in 20 minutes, Serafimov said, "don't look for us." "That's not funny, Colonel." "I'm not joking." At 38 meters, everything looked the same. The ship, the silence, the emptiness. But when Serafimov activated the device, the water split. Not physically, but visually, like a television losing signal. And behind it, a second world appeared. The city. This was not the seabed. This was space. A massive dome, invisible from the outside, but filled with light within. Structures rising like crystals, paths made of radiance, and the same symbol, 3 interwoven circles. "This is impossible." The scientist beside him whispered. "No," Serafimov replied. "It's hidden." And then they saw them. The 3. Captain Hristo Spasov, his son, the 3rd sailor. They stood on a surface that was neither land nor water. Their eyes were open, but motionless. "They're alive," Serafimov whispered. He stepped forward and crossed the boundary. The contact, the moment he stepped inside, sound vanished. No waves, no breathing, only thoughts. And then a voice. Not outside, inside his head. "You have entered the transitional zone." Serafimov did not move. "Who are you?" "Observers. Guardians. The ancient inhabitants of this planet." A figure appeared before him. Humanoid. Tall. Without a clear face. Its body seemed composed of light and liquid metal. "Your species discovered us too early." "You abducted the people?" "No, we saved them." The truth, the figure extended a hand, and images began to appear. A Russian submarine, hidden in the depths, military experiments, energy tests in the Black Sea. And something far older. "Your armies are breaching the boundaries. We maintain the balance." And the fishermen. witnesses, chosen. They will return when you are ready. The return a second later, everything vanished. Serafimov was back in the water. The team was pulling him up. "Colonel, you were unconscious for 17 minutes. No," he said quietly. I was there. The final mystery. That same evening in Sozopol, something strange happened. A man appeared on the beach. Wet? Disoriented. It was Captain Spasov's son. The only thing he said, "They are not enemies, but we must not look for them, because we are the ones being watched." Epilogue. Serafimov stood alone, staring at the sea. Somewhere out there, beneath the surface, a world existed, not foreign, but older than humanity. And he knew one thing: this was only the beginning.